From the 1011 Now streaming studio, this is The Night Beat.
Good evening, I'm Danielle Shenk from the 1011 Now streaming studio. Here's what's making headlines as we wrap up Tuesday, July 23rd. Governor Jim Pillen quietly told state agencies to cut $280 million just days after signing a fiscally sound budget. That's according to the Flatwater Free Press. Lawmakers claim the governor bypassed normal budget processes, which usually involve fiscal analysis, committee hearings, voting, and vetoes. While specific cuts remain unclear, the governor's office says they're necessary for property tax reform and that the special session should provide more insight. The Democratic Party is becoming more energized as Kamala Harris secures enough delegate support for the presidential nomination, with some Nebraska leaders saying she is more than qualified. Meanwhile, some Nebraska Republicans are criticizing Harris and Biden, calling Harris the co-pilot of Biden's disastrous policies. Harris will formally receive the nomination at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago on August 19th. Tyler Goodrich's case is gaining renewed attention. Dateline Missing in America is digging into his story by interviewing Tyler's husband, family, and close friends, aiming to shed new light in hopes of bringing Tyler home. He left his Lincoln home on November 3rd, 2023, and hasn't been seen since. The Dateline episode covering Tyler's case was released today and can be found wherever you listen to podcasts. Now to the skies, where research balloons have recently been flying above Lincoln. Aerostar, a South Dakota company, says they've been using these balloons for research since the 50s. They're a cheaper alternative to satellites and can boost communication in disaster areas and gather data for various studies. For now, the company says they'll be testing these balloons in our region. Lastly, the University of Nebraska-Lincoln Center for Children, Families, and the Law is teaming up with nonprofits statewide for a new project funded by a $1.3 million grant from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. The grant will support research and establish youth action boards made up of kids formerly affected by homelessness who will work with those now in similar situations. The grant will go into effect this fall. Rounding out your headlines is a check of the 7-day forecast.
You've been listening to The Night Beat. Watch, listen, and stream on the 1011 app on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.